Welcome to the SpoonFull Show. I'm Rachel, and this is a space for real conversations about chronic illness, hope, and learning to keep going even on the hardest days. Because strength doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it's simply taking life one spoon at a time. Welcome to a very special episode of the SpoonFull Show. I'm Rachel, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Tina. How you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. How are you today, Rachel?
I'm great. This is our 100th episode. When we first started this podcast, we simply wanted to create a place where people living with chronic illness could feel seen, understood, and a little less alone. We never imagined the incredible journey it would become. Over the past 100 episodes, we've had the privilege of sitting down with physicians, researchers, authors, advocates, caregivers, and some of the most inspiring Spoonies from around the world. Together, we've shared stories of diagnosis, loss, resilience, hope, healing, and everything in between.
But today isn't really about us. It's about you, the people who have listened while sitting in waiting rooms, during infusion treatments, on difficult days when getting out of bed just felt impossible. And even on the good days when you wanted a reminder that you weren't walking this journey alone. This community has become so much more than a podcast.
To celebrate this milestone, we asked some of our previous guests to send messages of encouragement, not for us, but for every Spoonie listening today. Throughout this episode, you'll hear some familiar voices as we look back on 100 episodes, sharing a few behind-the-scenes memories, talk about what we've learned along the way, and look ahead to what's next. Whether this is your first episode or you've been with us since the beginning, we are so grateful that you're here. So let's celebrate 100 episodes together. We're going to sprinkle some messages throughout this episode, and I want to start with a message from Brenda Snow. She was on episode number 68, and Rebecca, she was on episode 51.
Hi, Brenda Snow here, and congratulations on your 100th episode. What an achievement and a milestone. And thanks for including me in that. And to the fellow Spoonies out there, remember that your diagnosis doesn't define you. You are worth all good things in life. So never give up on believing in yourself and getting the help and the support that you need. So Rachel and Tina, congratulations on this big achievement. And I can't wait to listen and watch 100 more episodes. Take care, everyone. Mwah.
Congratulations. I didn't know how to express hope for your listeners today while still coming out of a heavy flare, but a song just gave the words to me. James Arthur's Say You Won't Let Go, the very start of which are the words, I met you in the dark, you lit me up, you made me feel as though I was enough. It's people who share their stories and platforms like yours that connect words to hearts that need them. You are there for me in the dark, and you help whenever shadows fall, reminding us we're not alone, we are enough.
What a great first couple messages. Brenda was the first guest on the SpoonFull Show, and Rebecca, gosh, that was episode 51, and her talking about her HEDS. And I'm so grateful that they sent in messages of hope for us today. 100 episodes. Oh my gosh.
That is, I know it doesn't seem like it's possible that we've just hit 100 episodes from your dream.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was over 2 years ago when we started, and I feel like I can remember every single episode that we've ever done, but I remember coming up with this wild idea and doing our first episodes together. And I think it was one of our first episodes. And I think I looked at like the analytics and things, and I was like, 8 people listened to our episode. Oh my gosh, 8 people that we don't know that, have listened to this, and it has grown over that. But what did you think when I'm like, let's start a podcast?
I thought it was a wonderful idea, but I was a little nervous about the thought of getting on here and talking and putting it together myself, being in the limelight, so to speak.
Right, right. Well, I think both of us, I would like for you to describe kind of your feeling, but when I had thought of this, I was like, I just feel like I'm the only person in the world that's experiencing this. And I had recently gotten onto Instagram and I found people with MS and I found a community of people that had chronic illness and could maybe understand a little bit more of my life. And so that's where it came from of like, I want to be able to share that. And all these people that are posting on Instagram, they have stories and I want to connect with people. I want to feel less alone. And in turn, it's given me a lot more than what I expected. But what about you?
So this started after kind of at my, like, the worst part of my cancer journey was over. So I knew when you approached me with it, I just knew the importance of building that community and just having other people there that understood, and how difficult it is that even though you feel like you're surrounded by friends and family that are there to support you, they still just don't understand
Yeah.
truly what you're going through. And so I was 100% on board, knowing how much it can help, just having somebody, other people that truly understands your day-to-day life. So we also heard from Myra, who was in our episode number 8, and Nicole, who joined us on episode 50, halfway through
Halfway through.
here. Yeah. Myra recorded a little message for us, so let's have a listen.
Hi, hello. I'm Myra from season 1, episode 8. Day 20 now. Well, 100 episodes. Congratulations. Thank you for bringing our Spoonie community together and reminding us that our stories matter. You two are truly making a big difference. And you know what? I just can't wait for the next 100. I'm excited. Yay!
Nicole sent in a little written message for us, and she says, "My name is Nicole. I'm 37 from the US. My episode was titled Self-Esteem Along with Gastroparesis. Ever since the episode, I've connected with so many lovely warriors from all around the world, and I get my strength from all of you. Those who became friends when I felt lost the most. Just remember, at your worst days, you are not alone. Keep fighting, warriors."
Those are so nice. Gosh, I will tell
Yeah.
you that Myra is constantly sharing the reels of the episodes. She's constantly commenting on a lot of the posts. And so I personally want to thank Myra for supporting the show as much as she does. She's been wonderful to us. And Nicole is just wonderful. She has been through it this year and I've kept in contact with her and she is just an amazing person. So we thank her as well. What do you think about these two messages?
Just absolutely wonderful. I agree. When you mentioned Myra being our biggest cheerleader, she definitely is. And I love hearing back from our previous guests and hearing not just their words of encouragement, but how we being on our podcasts impacted their lives.
Yeah. 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 It's been life-changing for us and we love to support our fellow Spoonies. So let's talk a little bit about behind the mic. Everybody hears the edited version of the podcast, but there's a lot more to the episode. What are some of your funny or interesting behind the scenes moments that you remember?
I actually remember the brain fog episode that we did, that
Oh my
we aired
gosh.
unedited so that
Oh my gosh.
everybody could actually see and hear. Well, back then we were just doing audio. I don't think we were doing
Yeah.
video. So they were able to hear
Yeah.
the raw footage of the what we go through of trying to put these on. Although I do feel like we've gotten a little bit better with the brain
Yeah.
fog of it.
that being over 2 years ago, we have to do that episode again because I know on my end, it would be a lot worse. I have to tell you, I did it. I recorded an interview yesterday. This is brain fog. And I was so upset with myself because I was really struggling. And I actually said to this person, I said, one of the things I love about you. And as I'm saying it, I'm like, this is somebody like I, don't like, was that kind of crossing the line of be like, one of the things I just love about you. And I was like, okay, that probably, it just sometimes I don't know what comes out of my mouth. But do you remember our first 2 episodes, which the first one was getting to know you and learning your story. And the second one was getting to know me. And I interviewed you and you interviewed me. And do you remember like we did those episodes and they were like an hour and 40 minutes long each? And we're like, there is no way that not even my husband is going to sit and listen to this for an hour and 40 minutes. So we had to completely redo those episodes because I think we still were at like 45 minutes and we're like, nobody's going to listen to this. Like it was just crazy. We had to completely redo that.
Yeah.
And there were a couple times we forgot to hit record. Luckily,
Thankfully,
we always caught it.
Yep. And it was usually when it was just because back then we would do one episode of this, the 2 of us covering a topic, and then we'd have a Spoonie on later that week. And thankfully, the only times that we've ever forgot to record was when it was just the 2 of us. We never had to drag one of our Spoonies back on to record.
We did though. Rocio, one of our first interviews.
You're right. We forgot and had to go back.
She was from Spain and spoke very little English. And it was like the second question. And I was like, oh my gosh, here she is, speaking in a different language and we've got to ask her to redo.
You're right.
Redo it.
Yeah. We caught it early. We caught it early, but we were still a little bit in.
Yeah. Yeah. We finally got into a groove where it was like, okay, I think we set the automatic record or something.
We did. Yeah. Yeah. I think I set it up to Zoom to just automatically start recording as soon as we logged in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, let's get to a couple other messages. Stephen, he's from episode 16 and he came back on episode 71, has sent in a written message to all of our Spoonies here. And then we're going to see a video from Christy, who was on episode number 6 and came back for episode 73. So let's start with Stephen. Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Lopez Jr. and I had the privilege of sharing my story on SpoonFull of Strength. Congratulations to Rachel and Tina on 100 episodes. To everyone living with chronic illness, don't let anyone make you feel like what you're going through isn't real. Keep asking questions, keep advocating for yourself, and never lose hope. Every story shared helps someone else feel a little less alone. Keep fighting. Oh, that's great. I love Stephen. He's been another great support to the podcast. Now, Christy sent in a video. I'm going to air the video and then I'm going to have to translate a little bit. Watch and see here.
Ciao ciao, io sono Cristina, io ero nei programmi The SpoonFull Show e SpoonFull of Strength. Non posso parlare inglese adesso perché io sono in scuola italiana da Middlebury College, però posso dire questo: prova tutto. È la tua vita, è la tua storia. Non è troppo tardi di provare cose nuove. Questa è la ragione io sono in scuola italiana!
So Christy, as you see, the video is in Italian. She's at an Italian school at Middlebury College, and she can only speak Italian. So she sent in a video, and I'm going to translate it for you. So she said, Hi, I'm Christina, and I was in the show SpoonFull of Strength and the SpoonFull Show. I can't speak English right now because I'm at the Italian school at Middlebury College, but I can say this. Try everything. It's your life. It's your story. It's not too late to try new things. That's why I'm at the Italian school. That's a great message.
That
Isn't
is. That's
that nice?
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the episode that we interviewed her on, I think you had a funeral that day. And so you have not gotten to meet Christy. And
That
as you
is
can tell
correct.
from her video, she's a fireball. And I love what she says about, about try everything. This is our
Yeah.
one life. So very cool.
Mhm.
So as we've done all of these episodes, what are some things that you've learned from doing this and meeting all these incredible people?
Ugh. I think the biggest thing is, as this has grown, is that you're never alone, even on the days that you do feel like you are. And it's easy to feel that way when you're at home, if you're not working, you don't get out much and you feel isolated. But this has definitely shown that there's a support system out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I also think that just from us meeting all these people, it's amazing to sit back and think about all that people with chronic illness go through, us included, and just realizing just how strong we are, even though we may feel weak, we may feel exhausted, and like we can't put one foot in front of the other, but just how strong we are and resilient. And we've seen that over and over through all these episodes. But have you learned anything about yourself going through this process on your own?
I think part of it helps validate the feelings of, again, kind of somewhat going back to not being alone, but also, that there's times that you feel guilt about maybe feeling almost like you're feeling sorry for yourself, or, the woe is me. And knowing that other people are out there made me realize that my feelings are valid.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying. I feel like I've grown in just the way that I feel like that, being diagnosed and not having anybody around you that is going through the same thing that you are or similar. I feel like it can be made a lot about me. Look what I'm going through, look what I'm dealing with. And because you don't know anybody else that's dealing with this, and it can feel very one-sided of kind of sitting more in the fact of how I'm feeling today and not realizing that there's so many other people that are going through the same thing or similar things. And I just feel like from all the people that we've talked to, of just learning from them and learning how to be a better advocate. I am a better advocate because of this podcast, and I have learned things of how to get through each day, and we're seeing it through these messages. We're seeing a lot of similar dialogue of you're not alone. And so I didn't realize how important it was to have a community until I started meeting people throughout the Spoonie community.
2 other Spoonies, we've got messages from Jenny and from Maggie. Let's have a listen.
I'm Jenny Jones of Life Support Foundation, and I was on the Spoonful of Strength to share my story about my rare diseases, familial adenomatous polyposis and short bowel syndrome. And I just want to let everybody know out there that there is a community here for you, regardless what your illness may be. And the community is life-changing, is life-saving. I know personally, we're here for you to help you through.
My name is Maggie Bushway. I was on Spoonful of Strength last February talking about my experience with childhood brain cancer, seizures, and chronic illnesses. Just wanted to encourage you all and tell you that if you're struggling today, keep in mind your story isn't over yet.
I love hearing from all of the ones that have sent us these little clips. Jenny, she has her own foundation called Life's a Polyp, and you can find her at the website lifesapolyp.com. And Maggie, I remember reading her book. It was on Amazon. I believe it was Amazon. I have the Kindle Unlimited, and I believe I was even able to get it on Kindle Unlimited at the time, called Pearls. And that's about her journey with childhood brain cancer. And it's a book that her and her dad wrote together. And that was also
Yeah.
very inspiring I loved seeing not just her viewpoint, but reading about what her dad was also going through too. That was pretty inspiring book.
Yeah, I loved that book. That was great. Well, let's have some fun here. I came up with 10 rapid fire questions for you, and you have some for me. So we'll answer them as quick as we can. And do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay.
I'll be brave and I'll let you start.
Okay. All right. Tina, coffee or tea?
Tea.
Books or podcast?
Books.
Text or phone call?
Text.
Heating pad or blanket?
Blanket.
Favorite, this is going to be hard, favorite podcast episode of ours?
Of ours. Oh my goodness. That is a hard one, and I'm supposed to answer it quickly. I'm going to say this one.
Good. Biggest lesson you've learned? Doesn't have to be the podcast.
Live life to your fullest.
Love that. One thing you wish doctors understood better?
Our feelings.
Dream person that you'd love to interview?
Oh my gosh. Dream person I'd love to interview. That would be, I think, Christina Applegate.
Yeah, she's on my list too. One word to describe your experience podcasting?
Fulfilling.
And one thing you could say to every Spoonie?
Stay positive.
Love that. Love it. Okay, brain fog. Brain's got to work a little faster, so I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
Couch or bed for a nap?
Bed.
Morning or nighttime person?
Probably nighttime.
What is your favorite specialist you see?
My rheumatologist, because he looks at the whole picture.
Biggest supporter? Besides your husband, biggest supporter?
Oh, my aunt.
Biggest fear?
Biggest fear. Well, besides snakes and mice, my biggest fear would probably be, gosh, I'm going deep on this one. I think missing out on important things, not being here for weddings and grandbabies, or not being able to walk down the aisle. My son's engaged and not being able to walk down the aisle.
Favorite episode?
This is going to be a good one. This episode is going to be a good one. But I got to throw that brain fog back in there. That was pretty fun to do. I mean it. We got to do that again.
Yeah, I think we have to do that. Definitely have to do that again. Favorite hobby?
Favorite hobby? I still love making wreaths, making floral wreaths for my door.
Are you still making them?
Just for myself. I think I made my mom one for Mother's Day last year. So every once in a while, but I'm not selling them anymore. So.
Okay.
But,
last one. I think this was the last one, unless it's stuck in a second. Dream vacation.
Dream vacation. To keep it within the United States, I really want to go to South Carolina, and I really want to go to Hawaii. Yeah. So that wasn't too hard.
No.
I did all right.
Yep.
The brain worked a little bit. So.
Oh, Hawaii is on our list. Maybe we need to do a family trip, because that's the last state that Dave needs to visit.
Really?
To check off all 50 states.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We'll have to plan that. That's a long trip though, getting to California. And then I didn't realize it was like 5 hours from California. So that's a big one. But
yep. That's one that you definitely would have to plan the best way to conserve your energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. But so we do have a couple more messages that were sent in. Karen sent in a video from episode 83, and Diana sent in an audio message, and she was from episode 38.
Hi, Spoonies. I'm Karen. I had the honor of sharing my story on the SpoonFull podcast, we talked about navigating uncertainty with chronic conditions. To every Spoonie watching, please know that the uncertainty is real, but so is your invisible strength. You are not alone and your story matters. Congratulations, Tina and Rachel, on reaching 100 episodes. Cheers to many more.
Hi there, my name is Diana Hines. I shared our story and journey about a year or two ago with SpoonFull of Strength. If you're a Spoonie, I pray that you find peace in moments of desperation and the light at the end of that tunnel that feels so dark. Remember that you are a warrior, and warriors don't give up. You're still here with a beautiful purpose, perhaps to teach many of us a lesson of resilience, perseverance, integrity, and compassion for others. You are worthy and loved. As a caregiver of Spoonie, take the time to grieve moments that are painful or feel lost. Because when you grieve, acceptance comes easier. They need us standing strong to hold your hand. But never forget to rely on your village for help and emotional support. You are also worthy and loved.
So Karen was on the SpoonFull Show. Her and her partner, Chris, from the Invisible Strength podcast. And so if you want another great podcast, go to YouTube and the Invisible Strength podcast. It's a great podcast. So definitely check that out. As a reminder, Diana is a mother. Her daughter had chronic illness, and we talked to her about supporting her daughter and being a caregiver. And that was a great interview. And her daughter recently went through a rough patch. And so we're sending our love to Gabby and in hopes that she's feeling better soon. So I just love these messages, how they're all just about hope and you're not alone community. And it's always nice to have some powerful words to reflect on. So looking ahead at where the podcast is now 100 episodes in, as far as where it goes from here, I don't know that I've got an answer for you. I think that we always, right now we're in the middle of a season, and Tina's been back to co-host with me, and that's been really enjoyable. And I think that going forward, we always met at the end of the season, and are we going to do this again? And what does it look like right now? And so I'm hopeful that we can be back. I'm hopeful that Tina will be able to join me, but I don't know right now. My MS has recently gone into more progression, a secondary progressive MS, and I am having more issues with brain fog, and I want these conversations to be powerful, and it's getting a little bit harder for me to do that, but it's something that we need to talk about, and you'll hear it first on Instagram and through the podcast. And if you had a magic wand, Tina, what would the podcast look like going forward for you?
That is a good question, because I feel like after every season, we've evolved. You kind of do that recap of saying, okay, what worked, what didn't, what seemed to make it better. I've loved being back for a few episodes this season, so I'm hopeful that I'm able to come back again like that, or and I personally would like to see it still, as long as it's still fulfilling for you, and it is, I believe. I know it gives you a lot of purpose.
Yeah.
And we've touched a lot of people, and it's just been amazing to watch grow, and I'm excited to see it grow even more.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. In my heart, I feel like I can go on forever. It's my body and my brain that gives me a little bit of struggles, but it's one of those things that I'm hopeful that it can continue, and we'll make changes as we need to help both of our healths and all of that. So we will see, and we will let you know, definitely.
We have a couple more messages from Spoonies that have joined us to share. M was in episode 47, and she sent us a written message. She said, "My name is Emily Williams, and I am grateful to have had the opportunity to share my stroke recovery journey on both the Spoonful of Strength and the SpoonFull Show podcast. Community has been a huge part of my recovery, and I am thankful for every other Spoonie who has shared their story to help others feel less alone. To any other stroke survivors, brain injury survivors, and any Spoonie out there, keep celebrating the millimeters. You are incredible, and I believe in you." And then Christy shared a little video with all of us.
Hi, this is Christy Sproba from episode 44. I was able to share my story, and I want to say a big thank you to Rachel and Tina for providing us this platform to share and connect. Stay strong, Spoonies. You got this, one day at a time.
Christy was in episode 44 and sharing her breast cancer journey with us, and we appreciate her message.
Yes, she had breast cancer and she currently has MS. Yeah. M was one of those, I feel like she was one of those stories that took me by surprise. I connected with her being I think at the time she was a 26-year-old stroke survivor. And I still watch her videos and connect with her. If you want to be inspired, check out, I believe it's ems.stroke.of.lightning on Instagram. She rock climbs. She's still recovering from the stroke and deficits on one side. Very inspirational.
Yeah, I was just
And
watching some of her videos this weekend on Instagram of her. I think she
yeah,
was out paddleboarding, or
she does it
I can't
all.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember Christy's episode as well, because having MS myself, I could really relate to her. But to have breast cancer on top of all that, she's so strong, and I appreciated her sending in. She was actually the first to send in, so she beat y'all to the punch on everything. So as we wrap up this 100th episode, Tina, what do you want to say to the listeners and the guests? And I'll give you a chance
Yeah.
to talk to our guest and our
Sure.
listeners.
Everybody. I feel honored that that you have all followed along with us. Those of you that have joined as guests, our supporters, our listeners. It's just been amazing. I remember like Rachel touched on it early on about how excited our first couple of podcasts that we had 8 people, 8
Yeah.
people listening. And then when we came up with the idea because I don't think initially we went in with the idea of bringing guests on. It was something that after the first couple episodes with us just going, people are going to be tired of just listening to us. Why don't we invite other people on there? And then we were worried if we would get enough people that would want to be guests. And then suddenly our seasons are filled up and we have a waiting list. And it's just been such an amazing journey that I personally I'm so grateful for all of you that have been part of it.
Sweet. Gosh, it's been over 2 years since this began. And I have to thank our guests, because we wouldn't be here without having our wonderful guests and doctors and mental health experts and advocates, and everybody who's been on would not have continued for 2.5 years without the stories that you all have brought. And of course, the listeners. I mean, we wouldn't have a show if we didn't have listeners who listened and connected with us, and the messages that I receive on Instagram of oh, I listened to this podcast and it really helped me. And those are heartwarming, and I can't tell you how much that I've appreciated it, and Tina as well. I think on a personal note, I'm not sure, I don't want to be dramatic or anything, but I'm not sure where I would be today without having this platform and being able to connect with everybody. The loneliness epidemic and chronic illness is so difficult, and it's something that not a lot of people talk about. And I was right there feeling like I was the only person in the world struggling, and feeling as if nobody understood what I was going through, and stumbling onto Instagram and finding a community, and coming up with the podcast and being able to share that with everyone. It's just been it's made a difference. And no matter how long it continues, it will be one of the highlights of my life. So I have to thank everybody for that. And of course, I have to thank Tina. She's been with me from the beginning. You've done over 3/4 of the episodes with me and has been not just, sorry, there's a fly.
I saw,
You'll see it on,
I actually saw it on the
video.
camera. I thought
Here
it was
I'm
a gnat
getting,
flying around mine.
no, it's a fly that's, if you all are watching this on Spotify or YouTube, you'll see the fly that's interrupting me right now. But yeah, Tina, for being there for me, not just in the podcast, but as a sister-in-law and as family. I enjoy it, and I'm so glad that you're back this season and looking forward to doing more episodes with you. So thank you. Our last set of messages are coming from Miranda, who shared her story with POTS on episode number 25, and Kate, who shared her story with miserable malalignment on episode 23, and she came back for episode 81 as well. And let's start with Miranda.
Hi, my name is Miranda Stuck. I'm the founder and creator of Undefined by POTS. I spoke on the SpoonFull of Strength talk show about navigating life with chronic illness, my own personal POTS diagnosis, and also how to approach my professional dance career while living with chronic illness. So the message that I share on my page and ultimately everywhere is that you are never alone. You are more than your diagnosis, and while your diagnosis may be a part of you, it never defines you.
I appreciate Miranda sending in that video. She has a wonderful Instagram community for POTS syndrome, and it is Undefined by POTS, so you can check her out there. And I also have a written message from Kate. She said, "Hi, everyone. It's Kate. I shared my story on the SpoonFull Show, and I had so much fun on the podcast that I came back 2 times more. What an incredible milestone and a testament to the impact that the wonderful host, the guest, and the viewers have made by sharing meaningful conversations and building a supportive community. Celebrating 100 episodes is a beautiful reminder that extraordinary milestones are built from hundreds of small moments. I hope we can all find spoonfuls of joy in these little moments every day, because joy doesn't have to wait until we're feeling better. It can meet us right where we are." That's beautiful.
That was wonderful.
That's a great way to end the show.
I think so too.
Just that beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful message.
Yes. Yeah. They were just, I loved hearing from all of our guests that submitted something to help us be part of our 100th episode celebration.
Yeah. And we're so honored to have shared their stories over the last 2+ years. We've got one more episode with Tina coming up. We're nearing the end of the season. And so I want to thank Tina for joining me today and celebrating this big milestone.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. It's just amazing. Yeah. How it's just mind blowing to think that this is our 100th episode.
Yeah. I do have to say, if for listeners who've been with us from the beginning, we started out the first season where we were doing 2 episodes a week, and we were like churning them out. And we were like, and by the end of the first season, I think almost 30 episodes of this 100 has been in the first season. And we were like, well, we've got to stop. We have got to set our own pace. But I remember that was wild doing that.
It was, because you're our editor extraordinaire, and so you were editing all of that, and it was definitely a trial and error.
Talk about not pacing ourselves, and
yeah,
we learned that lesson pretty quick. We've done it in seasons, so we have some time to step back and reflect and relax and make changes and things like that. But it's been a wonderful journey with you, Tina, and I'm just so grateful for you.
Yeah, and I'm grateful. I'm thankful that you asked me. And you said it's just, I keep seeing that fly flying around your head.
I am going to kill it. I could see it right now. Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden my ding.
Oh my God. Y'all get a show today from my fly. That's, yeah.
We have a special guest today. His name is the Fly.
Freddie the Fly.
But I'm grateful that you had reached out to me 2 years ago and bounced this idea off and enjoyed being part of it.
So glad. So glad. We have more episodes this season. And like I said, we will continue to keep you informed on Instagram about new episodes and upcoming episodes and upcoming seasons. So in closing, as we wrap up this special episode, we've been thinking about where this journey started and where it's taking us. 100 episodes later, what stands out the most isn't the numbers, it's the people. And the stories that we've shared, the courage that we've witnessed, and the friendships that have been formed. I want to thank you all for joining us today and saving some spoons to be here. Until next time, take care.
Good morning to all the Spoonful and SpoonFull of Strength show fans out there. I wanted to thank Rachel for letting me be on the show a couple times to share awareness about ankylosing spondylitis and to do some medication teaching. My name is Kimberly McCarthy. I have ankylosing spondylitis and I have small nerve fiber neuropathy along with an umbrella of other arthritises. But it is nice to be able to hear what the show has to share with bringing different voices. We may all have a chronic illness and we may have troubles, but it's not just in your chronic illness that you can learn from, but you can learn from many others and their stories, how they're surviving. But just don't give up. Dance in the rain. Keep on searching for what you need to do for you. Push on because, when you get to the top of the mountain, you will see a better view. So keep on trying and reach out to your friends, reach out to the show and keep listening to the show and celebrating over 100 episodes. Thanks a lot. Rachel and Tina, you've done a great job bringing awareness. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Smile.
Just a quick reminder, everything shared here is based on personal experiences. Please consult your doctor for your own care.